Well, I think for any online platform, it becomes slightly more difficult to create that kind of loyalty, and thereby, I think what we focus on is dominantly the three things that Ranjit mentioned initially, right? So, which is, are you making it convenient? Because if you do not have a face to you, then the service has to do a lot more talking than anything else, right? So thereby, the convenience plays a very important factor. The second thing, of course, is given that we are taking out a lot of real estate and overhead costs, the expectation on the customer side is to bring in a lot more pricing advantages that they want to take home, right? So pricing becomes the second, and at the end of the day, it is the service and the experience. The only fourth parameter I would add, and that is especially true for a marketplace or an aggregator, it's basically your collection. It's your assortment. So in our case, if the restaurants that people want are not there, then it kind of becomes a dampener for them to come back. So, and especially for a category like food, where for us about 90% of our daily customers, daily orders are actually repeat guys. So it becomes even more important for us to understand them very well, to understand food habits. And all I can tell you is that a Gurgaon is a very different food market than a Punjabi Bagh, and all within the Delhi NCR region, right? So the food preferences, the food mindset changes in people every few kilometers, I would say, right? So there's shades. Yes, you can say that India as a food is a curry eating country, but then.
So every time a repeat customer calls you, do you pull up the history of his calls, or is it already being done, or you're thinking about that?
No. So of course that's the bare bones, right? So that's the hygiene for us. That if a customer is calling in, then he expects us to know who he is, what the history is, and thereby a lot of our, we call them SOPs, the standard operating procedures, generally depend on the history of the customer with us, right? And the funny thing for us is that there's about 2% of the orders which would generally land up in some kind of an issue or so. And the funny thing is that the repeat rate for the people who actually face a problem with the order
is higher.
Is about 50% higher than the others, right? And that for us is well, you sometimes get into two mindsets. Should we have more problematic orders or not, right?
Only if you're resolving them well. Otherwise you're in trouble.
And that's where the part of service comes in, because if you're taking ownership of whatever is going wrong, I think in today's day and age, the customer rewards that much more, the service much more than anything else. And I don't think they'll come back because they like the panda, right? It could play some part, but at the end of the day, they have to come for the service, the convenience, the pricing, or the assortment.